Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me today on Psyched with Setmire. That's me. Hi. What we're going to do today is look at how can we improve our memory. Something that most of us wish we had a better version of, right? Memory is so important to so many different functions, just that ability to hold on to and retain and recall all of the things that we've learned and imagined and experienced. And unfortunately, a lot of us forget stuff, right? And we have moments like you see here in this picture where you walk in a room and you can't remember what you came in there for. So let's look today a little bit at what are some of the things that we can do to help avoid or at least lessen some of those moments and help us to find our cars in the parking lot, a common problem that I struggle with, and to hold on to information for exams or when you go to the grocery store and so on. So we'll look at some tips related to lifestyle and also kind of learning and attention, and then we'll wrap it up and review. So thanks for joining me, and let's talk about how we can improve our memories. A strong memory really depends on a lot of factors, right? The health and vitality of your brain are really key, and there are so many things that you can do to help improve your memory and just kind of general mental performance. And I've broken them down into two main categories for you, ones that are related to lifestyle and ones that are more kind of related to attention and learning and more just kind of strict memory driven. But let's look at lifestyle stuff first. And two factors that I've kind of clumped together are really crucial for memory, and those are exercise and sleep. So when you exercise the body, you're also exercising the brain, right? When you are treating your body well and exercising, you're increasing oxygen levels to your brain, which helps to kind of increase things like memory, right? It's increasing your mental kind of capacities and mental focus, along with obviously reducing risks that come from kind of conditions related to not exercising. But exercising is really important, that energy and oxygen to the brain, along with sleep, right? When you're sleep deprived, your brain doesn't operate at full capacity. Things like problem solving and critical thinking and creativity and all of those mental cognitive capacities are really compromised. So sleeping helps us with consolidating our memories and really just kind of being at the sharp kind of peak of our mental performance. So getting good sleep and exercising are really key to helping with enhancing your memory. Along with diet, eating a brain-boosting diet is really important. Just as the body needs fuel, so does the brain. So getting things like omega-3s, omega fatty acids from fish and different beans and spinach and broccoli and pumpkin seeds and different superfoods can be really helpful for boosting your memory. Along with limiting things like saturated fats from butters and cheeses and creams and milk and really sadly ice cream, my personal favorite, or at least one of them. But trying to reduce those things will actually help with your memory. Saturated fat can kind of impair your concentration and memory, very sadly. So eating more fruits and vegetables, colorful fruits and vegetables, and kind of antioxidant rich things that are superfoods. Leafy green vegetables are really helpful, like kale and broccoli and arugula, bananas and mangoes and other fresh fruits, really important as well. Some evidence that drinking green tea can be helpful, has a lot of kind of antioxidant qualities to it, along with being thought to enhance memory and mental alertness and slow some of that brain aging that might occur. So drinking green tea, and then trying to avoid harmful substances in general. Alcohol is a really big one that has been shown to kind of kill brain cells, right, and impair your kind of memory and cognitive capacity. So eating healthy, also crucial. Finding ways to keep your stress in check. Stress is kind of an enemy of the body and the mind. Chronic stress puts a lot of strain on the body, and it makes it difficult to form new memories and retrieve old ones. So trying to do things like meditation, which can really kind of help enhance your cognitive abilities and improve focus, can be super, super helpful. And finally, give your brain a workout. Trying to do things that kind of enhance your brain's ability. The more you work out the brain, the better you'll be able to process and remember information. So brain exercise is anything that breaks your routine or challenges you to use your brain in a new way. So taking new routes to work or to school, or any kind of brain games that you might play, and there are tons of these that are free online, or lots of books like the brain games image that you see on here that can really push you toward this. But these can be fun, they can be things that are very kinesthetic, memory related. Games are obviously wonderful for increasing your memory, but anything that's going to kind of work on hand-eye coordination, creativity, reasoning, and again, push you to form new pathways. So things that will challenge and expand your knowledge. So these are some lifestyle related tips that you can do, but there's also a lot of kind of attention and learning related things that will obviously help as well. So let's talk about those next. So some of these different attention and learning kind of memory tips, one of them, it sounds silly, but one of the best things that you can do in order to remember things is to be motivated. If you're motivated to remember something, you'll hold on to it, whether that's a phone number or a piece of information for an exam or for a quiz. But if you focus and you're motivated, you'll hold on to it longer. Another part of this is that you have to pay attention. It's super common sense, right? But you can't remember something if you never really learned it in the first place. So if you didn't pay attention to it and encode it into your brain properly, you're never going to remember it. And a big reason why people don't pay attention is because they have a lot of distractions. So trying to find ways to minimize your distractions will help you to focus more. And I have this problem all the time when I'm parking my car, right? I park and then I go into a store and I come out and I have no idea where my car is. But probably because I didn't really pay all that much attention. I was thinking about the shopping that I need to do or whatever. This is really bad if you go to Disneyland and you don't remember where you park your car because you're too focused on the churros that you're going to have that day or whatever it might be. So focusing and paying attention and trying to minimize distractions. Practicing and rehearsing. So go over the information that you've learned. If you learn something in class, repeat it to yourself later in the day. Rehearse it, practice it, spend time with it. The more that you work on something in little pieces, the more likely that you're going to be to remember it. You also want to use multiple senses whenever possible. Try and relate information to different senses, whether that's colors or textures or smells or tastes, or maybe incorporating audio and visual information, kinesthetic learning. If you're listening to this right now and looking at it and maybe even taking notes, that's 3 different ways of encoding information that you're using, which is going to make you all the more likely to remember it. You also want to find ways to make things meaningful, and mnemonic devices are wonderful for this. Some way of kind of associating information with images or sentences or words or things that you already know. Some ways that you can do this very simply, you can chunk information. So break things down into smaller sets or kind of more manageable units. You can come up with acronyms like HOMES is a great one for the Great Lakes. Every kind of letter helps you to cue and remember a word. You can take an acrostic method where you make up a sentence in which the first letter of every word represents something that you want to remember. Maybe you put things to a song or a rhyme, or some kind of alliteration is a very common thing you can do. Or you might even use methods where you kind of imagine items along a route or some kind of visualization. In general, what you're doing is you're linking information to stuff that you already know. So if you can try and link it to a piece that's already in your mind, it's going to make more sense and it's going to be something you hold on to easier. Another thing that you might do is you might try to explain an idea to someone else using your own words. So if you want to see if you really understand something, repeat it back to someone else. So you could try that with this lesson, right? Find a friend, a loved one, a family member, or maybe a stuffed animal, right? My partner used to do this to her stuffed animals as a child practicing to be a teacher. You could explain this to someone. So find someone and tell them what are some of the ways that you can improve your memory. And if you find that you struggle, then maybe go back and practice and rehearse it more. And try again. So all of these things can be really helpful, along with spacing stuff out over time, right? Little bits of pieces at a time, along with these different strategies, will help you to hold on to information longer. All right, so in a quick review, kind of wrapping up our little presentation, our brain is just amazing, right? Our brain has an astonishing ability to adapt and to change in response to experience. And with effort and practice, you can increase your cognitive abilities, you can enhance your ability to learn new information, and you can obviously improve your memory through some of these different things that we talked about. So don't forget all the lifestyle tips. Don't forget, right? Obviously the focus of today, but lifestyle tips like sleep and exercise and diet and minimizing stress. We talked about attention and having to kind of rehearse and practice things and trying to link it to stuff that you already know. If you can embrace all of these things and do a little bit at a time and practice, this will be something that you get better and better at. It's a skill that you can definitely hone and build. And so hopefully all of this will help you to not be wandering parking lots looking for your car like I sometimes do, and to help you hold on to stuff for tests and just in general, right, and so on. So thank you for joining me so much. And if you want to test your memory more, I have a link right here to another video from my introductory psychology classes where they are challenged to memorize a 28-digit sequence of letters and numbers. Ridiculously longer than our brains can typically handle, but you can do it. I know you can. So if you want to challenge yourself, click on that link and go there, and you can also see how I managed to hold on to that information for as long as I have. So thank you again for joining me, and I hope you will join me again in the future.